morning to my family. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to Caribbean, and of course, good morning to the world. You are viewing Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. I am your host, J.W. Moore, also known as J Soul, and I will be spending some time with you this morning. I hope that's okay. Thank you so much for inviting me into your homes, into your space, and to be a part of your day. It is a beautiful Monday morning on the island of Tobago, and of course, we seek to enlighten you, inform you, educate you, and of course, highlight our sons and daughters of the soil who are doing wonderful things in our space. So, good morning again to you. Remember, those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are live on the Amplia Network 102, YouTube, and of course, Facebook. And for those of you also just joining us, because I know some of you are getting ready, getting your seats, getting your drinks, getting your snacks, we go with our first segment of today, and that is our Good Stuff segment. And of course, our Good Stuff segment seeks to highlight those kings and queens who are impacting the world positively. First, I take you to the news state. Changing negative life behaviors by inspiration. And you know, motivational speaking is one tool that could help people change their behavior, even violent or criminal behavior, but it has its limits. Clinical psychologist and secretary of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Psychologists, Victoria Sunarine Jilal Singh, said motivational speaking has two delivery methods, with one being more effective than the other. One is when the speaker minimizes people's problems and believes they could give solutions to any problem, saying things like, just get up or just do it. And this is a wonderful expose, motivational speaking, which is a buzz in our society, in our world, and of our human beings' behavioral patterns at large. This is something that you guys really need to take a look at. Also, the Trinidad Guardian cannot be left out today. T&T student is the only Caribbean winner of the OAS essay competition. Washington, the organization of the American States OAS, says Trinidadian Ronya Swan was the only person from the Caribbean to win the Youth Essay Contest on Human Rights. The winner read their essays virtually during a broadcast from the Hall of America's headquarters. Swan's essay was on the advancing human rights of women and girls in Trinidad and Tobago. The other winners were from Argentina, Colombia, Ecuador, and of course, so we just want to say so much love, so much blessing, so much congratulations to our wonderful Ronya Swan. And get this, the only participant of the Caribbean who was chosen. And these are the stories that we like to highlight and bring to the forefront and let you know that we are definitely doing really great things, even if we may be small in number, minute in where we come from, in which part of the region or the world we reside. But our accomplishments need to be highlighted, and that's what we seek to do here on Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Daily Express, Sweet Christmas Song. Of course, my favorite columnist, Michael Mendesi, shares this wonderful, wonderful column. That's the repeated refrain fueling the seasonal in every household on the islands this weekend. With Christmas Day just 1 week away, crooner Jason Fridge Seacharan and rapper singer Tim Starr, Wade Christian, have once again combined voices and styles to give the nation another Yuletide gem. The dual vocals perfectly complement music producer Gareth Pollard's nutmeg and spice rhythm to generate that warm, familiar Christmas vibe. It's an exchange of energy both men say in a mirrored back to them when they see and hear about the joy listeners are experiencing when they sing. And you know, guys, music be the food of love, play on. And this is something that reaches every corner, every crevice, every mind, every soul, every energy. And what better way to fill that void with music? Let's have some happiness. Let's have some positivity as we go forward, as we look toward a new year. Those of us who are blessed to see it, let us try our best to go forward with positivity. And so our show today is so wonderful. I actually look forward to our agro corner, our life diaries, you name it, and we have it here right on Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Remember, you are viewing Tobago Updates Television, and I'm just a small part of the team that makes it happen right here. Just a synop of who's going to be here today. So we are speaking on our Live Diaries segment. Shaquille Jones, dancer, choreographer, and artist, joins us. And this is going to be a wonderful conversation. I have been waiting to speak to this brilliant artist for some time now. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, for our Agro Corner segment, Margaret Corbin joins us for a discussion on activities at the Scarborough Market. You guys do not want to miss this. Also, Grassroots segment. Now, this is going to be one that you guys do not want to miss. Marvin L. Ishmael, very, very accomplished playwright, actor, educator, artist, musician, Trinbagonian, son of the soil, and is doing so much out in the literary space. He's doing so much in education. He's doing so much in movies. And we're going to be speaking with him on his recent tongue twister there, his recent accomplishments on film. So you guys don't want to miss that one. And of course, Jude Rogers is back with us, a very good friend from the TTFS, and we're going to be speaking on the hazards of the Christmas season. So come on back to Brunch. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful day. We wish you so much blessings. We wish you so much peace, so much love, light, success. And for those of you who are just joining us, you have a little time to get your stuff ready, get your seats in a gear, get your snacks in a gear, because it's going to be a wonderful program. And we don't want you to miss a single second. We will be back with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch examples of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Back with Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Now, I explained so many times that one of the reasons that I love doing this show is because of the people that I get to meet, the conversations that I get to have. And we speak on so many things, from education to art to culture, history, politics. Not too much politics, just a little bit. We delve in, and just pull all of those conversations out. And my first guest is no different. I have actually been trying to get him on the Brunch set for a very long time. And I was so excited when it finally happened. And so, dancer, choreographer, artist, educator, mentor, because I know of so many people that he has been so instrumental in their development, and that's a wonderful thing. Also, community-based projects, community activist, you name it, and my first guest has done it. I welcome to the Brunch set, without further ado, Mr. Shaquille Jones.
Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning. I am so pleased to have you here. So how are you doing today? Let's start there.
I'm fine. So first of all, let me say good morning to Tobago and thank you for having me. I'm doing well. And yourself?
I am blessed. I'm not even going to find anything that I need to be angry about or aggravated about or agitated about, because I feel that I need to stay in this energy and frequency. And that's one of the things that I love about you. I love your positive energy. From the first time I saw you performing, you were small, got a tiny little tot, and you were wearing I even remember what you were wearing. It was blue, what was that? A blue top, some type of costuming.
Right.
It was blue top, blue bottom, and you guys were doing like a production. We had just started working with culture. We were interns, and we went to Pembroke Anglican, one of the schools that we went to, on a first trip. And that is where I remember you. And I never forgot.
Yeah.
I never forgot. And so some of the things that stand out about you, because I love reading snippets of your bio, because it's like an electric movement artist who is innovatively merging the past and the present to create the future. And this is something that speaks volumes, because you are willing to not forget the past. So you still incorporate the wisdom of the elders, but you also incorporate the young people's energy.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it is. From the moment I got involved in the performing arts, dance in particular, I have always been mentored by older persons, Karen Berkeley Charles, Sylvan Gregg, Sylvard Gregg, Elvis Rajman. Those were the people, Mr. Berkeley, Wendell Berkeley, those were the people that poured into me. So ever since I got involved, I've always learned to develop and maintain a sense of gratitude, even in my own endeavors as I advance throughout my career and learning new things. It has always been, how am I able to learn the things that I was taught, but also be innovative and creative so that I could inspire the present and future generations to do the same. So gratitude has always been a part of my practice. It has always informed the work that I do, and that is because that is what was poured into me.
And I love the way you say poured in, because you have so many persons who were placed on your journey. I have to say that they were placed there because each person would have instilled something in you, some spirit, some type of energy, some type of positivity, some type of knowledge.
Yeah.
And this is something that sometimes we lose sight of. And we get on this bandwagon that, okay, I made it and I'm going to do this, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go every which way. And we don't take the time to acknowledge that you had help along the way. And this is something that I want to see change. Our young people are so innovative. We have so much to say, but we have to bridge that gap between the elders and the young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is that they are the roots, and I am the tree. I am an extension of their hard work, and it even goes beyond those persons that would have poured into me. When we look at what we celebrate here in Tobago, or heritage, or culture, or lineage, or ancestry, these are persons who would have came with this culture from Africa. They would have done the work. They would have labored just to ensure that we inherited something that is valuable, something that we could realize that this is where we came from, and they did all the groundwork. So they are the roots, and I see myself as a tree. And if I am the fruit that they intended, then I am doing the right thing. I am living their purpose.
Definitely.
And then I'm also inspiring those to come on board and do the same thing.
And the movement is so natural to you. Because let me just say, I have seen you, I have been privileged, and it is indeed a privilege watching you perform, putting your hands to something. And I know this because, good morning to Pembroke, the Pembroke community. Because I know they're watching, or they're watching to see what Shakil is going to say.
All right.
Yes. So good morning to Pembroke. But you know, Shakil, with education, because such a big chunk of where you are today stems from education. So tell me a little bit about school. Tell me a little bit about tertiary. Let's start there, and then we go into what that was like being from this side of the world.
Well, before I even get into education, because you mentioned dance, I was born into a
Right.
So my mom, my aunts dance, my uncles, they play drum. So culture was a huge part of me. But as I always taught to myself that I'm like very inquisitive. I like to learn, I like to see, I like to understand things. And I treated dance as a hobby. So when I got my undergraduate degree at the University of the West Indies, it was actually in international relations. And then upon completing that, I got the opportunity to do my Master's of Arts in Dance at Florida State University. Right. And it said to me, it's like, no matter how much you try to run from something or treat it, you know, something small, if this is your passion, if this is your purpose, if this is your calling, you can do as much as you want, but you end up right in that thing. And I went off to Florida, and I began learning. And my experience there during the degree was a lot of realizations. Not that the information was new, it's just that I didn't know I was already doing this thing. So what it presented to me was an opportunity to take the information, expand on the knowledge I already have, but it also positioned me to do a lot of cultural sharing, because coming from this side of the world, they were not experienced to the type of dancing, the type of movement, the type of language our body speaks when we move. And it was the perfect opportunity to share with my professors who know what side of the world can do. So all of my assignments were based on traditional folk. All of my presentations were based on traditional culture, folk art, African history. Cemented who I was as a Caribbean dance artist within academics. And after a 2-year period, I graduated with my degree. But during that time, I also had the opportunity to visit many different conferences and workshops where I was able to advance the Caribbean dance position, letting people know that, you know, where I come from, the work that we do as practitioners doesn't just deal with performance, but there's a lot of retention, there's a lot of value in terms of the ancestry, the lineage, the connection, the community that we are able to provide. And, you know, it is very, very different than what we see in the West, you know, and not to belittle, but I hold great value in the work that I do because it is much bigger than I am, and it represents such the essence of who we are as Caribbean people, who we are as Afro-Caribbean people, and, you know, God, continue to cherish the work that I do and always use it to be the voice to inspire and to lead and charge change.
Yeah, and you know, lead and to charge change. That is such a wonderful way to put it, because I was just having this conversation yesterday. That is to tell you, yesterday I was having this conversation about your identity. It becomes like your blueprint when you travel, when you leave these shores. It is something that you have to take so much more seriously. We are constantly compared to, are you from Grenada? Are you from Jamaica? Are you from... And then and there you realize, oh, wait a minute. Let me take this a little more seriously, because I am now an ambassador and I have to cement my place as a Tobagonian, as a Tobagonian son or daughter. And this is something that happens when you travel. Traveling and education combined really, really does this and speaks to this. But what was it like for you with your colleagues? Did you experience any type of culture shock or any type of energy coming towards you that may or may not have been positive?
So the culture shock was there for sure. It was my first time going to America. I've never had the experience before. So even being in a space where everything is just so fast-paced, on the go, where perspectives are not taken lightly, where we have to be very much culturally aware of how sensitive persons can be, also to treat with the existing insensitivities within a space. And then I went to what was called a PWI, a predominantly white institution. So even my place as a black person in the institution, for me it meant that I needed to, you know, not conform, but attract and let them see that I earned my place within this space. In terms of negativity, I wouldn't say that there was any negativity that was like solely directed towards me, but at the same time, it just called for me to be constantly aware. Even with my colleagues, you know, they were very open, they were very receptive, they were very, you know, engaging, accommodative, and I would just take the minute to speak about my chair of my master's, Miss Tiffany Reinhardt, who had not a clue about what I wanted to present for my master's thesis, but at the same time she took the responsibility as knowing and went on the journey and was very open, very receptive, and was able to present ideas and perspectives that I could read into that would assist me in making my ideas clearer. So, you know, it wasn't a bad experience, but at the end of the day, you spoke to identity, and I think once you show up and you stand resolute in who you are, it gives people a chance to look, to listen, and to understand. And that is what was my experience. People had a chance to look, to listen and to understand.
Yes, and look, listen, and understand. That we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. More with Shaquille when we return. See you guys.
Road rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Light up the Christmas with the best fiber. Surfboard channel switch to Amplia. Thousands in prizes, plenty smart TVs. 1 year free service and free groceries. We surfing with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We been drinking with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. Sign up now for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prizes, cause this season will be your nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parade. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring me sorry, let me toast to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago, and let me just tell you, this young man seated here today, his reputation precedes him because he's been doing so much for so long, you know, internationally, regionally, locally. And I was just saying that I love the fact that I get a chance to let you in and let you get to know our sons and daughters who are doing wonderful things. So Shaquille, welcome back to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. And you know, we were talking about our identities. We were talking about how important it is to know who you are, know your culture, know your history, and know that you must take pride and honor in being a Tobagonian, in being an Afro-Caribbean artist or expressionist or whatever the adjective or term is right about now. Yeah. You know, so going into academia, you were speaking about the persons, some of the persons that you would have met who would have known nothing, absolutely nothing about even where Tobago is on the map, because there are still persons who don't. You say, where are you from? Well, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and we say it so proper, and then they say, which part of Trinidad are you from? Yeah. So it's something that you always have to constantly get the terms correct, draw the lines where they should be drawn, you know, being proud of your country, but also there are two separate islands with completely different narratives to each. And so I'm sure you got that. You're from Trinidad. Yeah. Which part of Trinidad? And then you have to do all the explaining. Yeah. Yeah.
It was ideally one of those instances because Florida, they have a bit of that diaspora culture. So you find a lot of Caribbean people there. So for the persons, I remember joining the Caribbean Student Association, and that became kind of like the drive to let the rest of the student population know where the Caribbean is, what we do as a people. So identity in all spheres and forms, be it cultural or otherwise, you know, it is not new to me. Even in my experience of national representation at different forums, the Cari Festa, World Travel Market, it has always been about pushing and highlighting and making notice of the Caribbean, particularly Tobago, and what we do and who we are as a people, and always sharing that with the rest of the world.
Definitely. And World Travel Market, guys, was a huge buzz. Let me tell you, every day, everything and anything Tobago was on the
Display,
spotlight.
yeah.
And I love the fact that your panel, we had so many young persons there.
Yeah.
And so we had that invigorating type of energy. And I remember looking at some of the forums that you guys did. And I was so proud of you. Oh my gosh, I felt like a proud aunt. I felt like, yes, 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 yes. If I did not know anything about Tobago, I definitely know now. And I'm going to go there.
Right.
I'm going to save my money and I'm going to go. Yeah? Tell me, what was that? What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, it was all about, advancing the island's tourism product. And what way better to contribute to it by telling the rest of the world about Tobago's culture and its festivals. And primarily that was my role and function as the movement and dance coordinator there. One, to lend support in that regard by the cultural display, which I would have assisted in putting together. And then also just being there at the booth for persons that maybe have questions or want to know more about the festivals and what we do to provide an immersive experience to tourists once they come to the space. The tourism industry is constantly evolving, and we always have to be looking for unique ways to incite persons to visit here. And one of the positions or the stands that Tobago took was to speak more to the culture, the festivals, the people, and that ability to create an immersive experience to the traveler once they come to the shores. So it was a lot about that, and again, at the bulk, at the very core of that was cultural identity as a person, how we respond to things as human beings, our way of life on the island, how you can engage and be a part of that, and it was really, really a fulfilling experience for me because, again, it lent to the work that I already do, but also granted me new perspectives within a particular industry that I function in to develop new ideas and to always be creative about what I do, especially when people are thinking about coming to see what we do and to be a part of what we do.
And I think most of the times being an ambassador just kind of happens naturally. It's like you get to the space and spontaneously it happens. Somebody makes a comment, somebody does not know where Tobago is, somebody, and it's always that kind of from the pot into the fire type of thing, and you just have to morph into that ambassador.
Yeah, you are in a constant mode of representation.
Yes.
Constant, you have to look at how you speak, you have to look at how you look, you have to be able to be engaging, you always have to correct the misconceptions and misperceptions of what Tobago is or where the island is. And I have a lot of fun doing it.
Yes.
I have a lot of fun letting people know that we are 116 square miles of luscious beauty, wild vegetation, enormous cultural history,
there you go.
good food, good drink, people that know to have a good time. Come visit the festivals, come be a part of the community life, come go to the beach, come do all the things that we have installed. I am never out of wit when it comes to representing and letting people know that Tobago is the ideal place to be, and that Tobago is a place on the map, and that Tobago has a lot to offer.
Definitely. And being an educator also comes naturally. It comes with so much responsibility because you have to make sure that what you're telling people is the right thing. You have to make sure your data is correct, your research is correct. Yeah, because people always have misconceptions. I have seen it so many times. And you constantly have to make sure that you're ready. It's always this form of readiness that you're supposed to have.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of the reasons why I also got into tutoring. You know, I think that as an educator, a big thing or the core tenet of educating is the access, the access to the information.
Definitely.
And, you know, just in the whole idea of bridging the gap and, you know, connecting past and present with hopes to inspire future generations, is about creating that access. And, you know, once I was given the opportunity to begin tutoring in the Pembroke community by Miss Karen Berkeley Charles, you know, it was about how can I take the excitement of youth and marry it with the information of the elders, so that one person could develop an appreciation for the arts and culture, one could develop an appreciation for who they are as a Tobagonian, as a Caribbean national, as a descendant of Africans, and, you know, how could we this become something that is long standing, that is sustainable, you know, and that my work has always been centered in creating the access, even with having the opportunity to study outside and to travel and to be a part of different cultural initiatives. You know, I always bring that information back and bring it back and share it, whether it's through my choreography, whether it's through my workshops, so that people who may not have the opportunity to see what I've seen or participate in the things that I've participated in, they have the opportunity to share in that experience. So it's always about access. It's always about community, because if we intend for traditions and legacies to live on, we must be able to build community. And that is a vital part of the work that we do as artists. It's always about inspiring the people that we work with in creating performances for audiences to live inside, doing things so that it constantly sparks conversation and provoke thought. Because at the end of the day, what I may have a particular information, you may have particular information. The thing about our culture is that it's based upon its experience, and the way I experience something may not be the way you experience it. But what we have the opportunity to do through providing access is to share those perspectives, find the common denominator, and use that as the tool for understanding who we are and what we do and why we need to preserve and retain the culture and the heritage.
Yeah, and you know, retain. I love the fact that you use that word, because it's so important. You have to be able to, as you said, marry these important factors. You have the history, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, but so many times you have to implement that. You have to be so innovative, you have to be so accommodating, so exciting, so that the young people want to join and be a part of it.
And that's the interesting thing about the work that I do. I think one of the things that we take for granted is that culture is changing, because the world is changing. With the advent of technology, a lot of different things are in place. We have social media, and we have to look at, with the change in culture, the things that people develop an affinity to, and how can we accept and appreciate our cultural heritage and lineage and legacy, but also bring it up to speed and bring it up to times, not forgetting who we are, not forgetting where we come from, not forgetting the tradition and the practices, but being innovative enough to find ways, again, of access, so that persons who have not had the opportunity to live it in its traditional phase can experience it. And that is what we do, especially at the Tobago Performing Arts Company. We try to give access to film, so we find innovative ways to show culture or represent the culture through film, represent it through emerging technologies within dance and music and the theater and the drama. Because one of the things that we recognize now, because a lot of young persons who are doing CSEC and CAPE, in the theater arts program, they come to us to do the interviews there. A portion of it where they have to interview a practitioner. And one of the things that we have to recognize is that they want the information, but the information somehow is very difficult to get. So as part of our mandate within the company, we have been on a drive of making sure that the information is accessible and that the information is there so that they could have it. So when we bring trainers in, one out of the days of the week that the trainer is there, we have a public workshop. So the people on the outside could come in and experience the things that we are experiencing on the inside. We have now embarked on creating a catalog with information about the folk dances and so forth. And these are things that are going to come on stream in the very near future, because we see the importance, we see the value in ensuring that those that are a part of the culture today can experience our traditions in ways that they grow affinity to. Creating dance challenges on social media,
Yes.
using the folk as the impetus of movement and having people follow it and post it. You know, these are some of the things that we could do and explore to ensure that, you know, culture doesn't die. It doesn't mean that it has to stay in that realm of what we like to call the old time days. And I mean, we still respect it and we still honor it, but at the same time we try to make sure that people have access to it in modern times, and that they could be a part of it and respect it, appreciate it, but also be able to live it in their own way within the time that they are living.
Definitely. And Shakil, it's so wonderful talking with you. I could sit here and talk with you all day. But unfortunately, we are out of time.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to have you back. I have so many questions. I have so many things are going on. What's next for Shakil? All those questions have to be answered the next time you come back.
Yeah.
So from our family to yours, we wish you blessings, peace, love, light, and success.
Thank you very much, and same to you.
Thank you. We're going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But before we do that, guys, our trivia question for today: in what village in Tobago would you find Barbados Bay? The answer at the end of the show. We'll be right back with more Brunch.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McAl Group.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Back with Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, we come to that segment in the program that I really look forward to. It's Monday, and a beautiful Monday at that. And of course, we love to talk agriculture. We love to have our wonderful representatives here with us, and we speak on everything and anything agriculture. And so this is our Agro Corner segment. And today I have with me Margaret Corbin. And I remember Miss Corbin. She does not remember me though, but I remember her working at the Division of Agriculture. And the marketing department, she would always be so friendly, so welcoming and accommodating. And that is one of the things that I remember most. So I have not forgotten. Like I said, she may not remember me, but I do remember her. And Margaret is here to really, delve into what are some of the activities that are going to be happening as we near the end of the year, going into the new year, and of course beyond. What can we expect? So, good morning to you, and thank you for being a part of Brunch. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
How are you? You good?
Yes, I'm good.
So, quite a few things are happening. Now, I'm just going to let you delve in just a bit. What can we expect? Furthermore, for those of you who are just joining us, Margaret can tell us about the marketing department. Tell us what it is that you do there, because I know some of our viewers are looking for so much information today, and I want to be able to give them as much as I can. So just tell us a bit about the marketing department, what you guys do there, and then we can delve into.
Okay, good morning, viewers. At the marketing department, what we do is that we are responsible for the Scarborough Market and the Scarborough Abattoir. We are also responsible for research, agricultural research on the island. The information that we gather, we share with the stakeholders. So the public is free to come into our office at Millshire, where there's a library, and the database is also located there.
Right. So you just gave us so much in that short space of time as to what you guys do. Where can we find you? And there's so much going on that you need to just enlighten us about. What's going on with the market? Tell us about that.
Well, at the market, we are having this week what we call United in Peace and Love.
Okay.
Right? So at the market, starting from Wednesday, we will be having extended opening hours, meaning that we will be going until 8 o'clock in the evening. Right? So the customers are free to come in. Vendors would be there available. You can come and get your produce. At the market, we have haberdashery stalls, we have the normal vegetable stalls, we have fish vending stalls, we also have shop stalls that sell shop type goods, and there is a variety of goods available, even in the spa. I'm not sure if people are aware of that, but we have someone there who gives you spa treatments. We have a photographer, and for the week starting, will be having his Christmas background, where you can come and actually take your photographs for your family with a Christmas background, and he can frame them. He will print them out and he can frame them for you if you want that. Well, obviously there are many more items available. There are toys, clothes, shoes, whatever you can think about is available at the market at this time.
Okay, and guys, you heard it right here. Head on down to the market, the Scarborough Market, that is, and just be a part of all of the lovely events that are taking place, the giveaways. Let's talk about, we're going to be having giveaways, live entertainment. Ooh la la.
Well, on Friday, we will be concentrating on the Christmas party for the children. Last year, we had a party for the children, and it was a hit with them. This year, we are also having the Christmas party again, where we will be having a Santa Claus. So the children can come, get their toys, and be able to speak with Santa Claus live, and also take a picture with him.
Okay.
So that would be a hit with the children. We already have at least 100 children registered, but we are leaving it open for a few more persons walking off the street. You can just jump in with your child and be a part of the activity.
Okay.
Also, earlier in the day, we will be having our giveaway, our seedling giveaway. Normally, the Agriculture Department would give us seedlings and ornamentals to share with the public. So, on Friday morning, we will be having that available to the public. So, all you have to do is just come in and get your seedlings and ornamentals.
And how do you register? Is there a cost for registration? Because I know people are looking on and saying, I think I want to go to that. What to do when I get there to register?
The entire activity is totally free.
Okay. So guys, you heard it, right? It's free.
Yes, it's totally free.
So head on down.
But remember that we have the children to be focused on in the afternoon. So we don't want the adults come looking for toys to carry home. We want the children to come out. They must be there to meet with Santa and to get their gift.
And when does this take place?
It starts at 2 p.m. on Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon. And you come down to your
to the market.
Oh, the event is at the market.
Yes, that event is at the market. We will have some light entertainment, refreshment for the children. Again, it's a children event. So the children would be treated at that time. The vendors have consented to be a part of the event, so they would be given treats also, but you have to come and be a part of the event. I will guide you to where the rest of the treats would be.
Definitely. And we say so much kudos and so much love goes out to your wonderful department, because this is something that you are constantly giving to the citizens, giving to our islanders, contributing to our island life, and it cannot go unnoticed. You know, that is one of the I love doing this show. It's because I get to meet people like yourself. I get to sit and, you know, talk about what's going on, what's happening, how are we impacting, how are we changing, are we giving positively to the citizens here. And this is one of the things that I actually love having the chance to do. But what can we look forward to? What's in the barrel? What's in that little cauldron that you stir with a spoon as to, okay, next year we're going to do this, 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 and this. Is there anything new and exciting that we could look forward to?
Well, what I must say is that our division is headed by our assemblyman, Natisha Charles Pantin. She is a person who loves activities.
Yes.
She's always sharing something with the public, the citizens on the island. And the administrator, Mrs. Sherian Edwards-Louis, she is a firm believer in sharing also whatever information comes to her. She loves to share. So with that, the marketing department is the arm that does research and education.
Right.
So we would have, for this year, we would have rolled out a lot of workshops to the public. Workshops on how to choose your commodities when you are going to the market to select commodities.
Yeah.
We also had how to store your commodities when you carry them home. The hit that we had for the year was the gut health lecture that we did. We actually shared with the public and also with workers in the division how to maintain good health. And so for 2024, we plan to roll out some more of those training activities. Also, we will be looking at an inter-island trade survey where we will be gathering information on the commodities that are coming from outside of Tobago into Tobago for us to use. We also are looking at having a mini fair with the schools where we would be sharing information on how they can, the school children, that is, how they can make the right career choices based on what is happening here in Tobago. Because, you know, agriculture is very we can't live.
Yes, very
So
true.
we want the children to make that choice to be agriculturalists and also to have careers surrounding agriculture so that our economy can be buoyed up with our young people.
Yeah, and that sustainable development is so important as
Yes.
well. Because I always tell the story of a career day that I went to. And attending this fair just opened my eyes so much because almost all of the student body, they were dressed in their lawyer outfits or their doctor or policeman. And there was one little boy who came as a farmer. He had his boots, he had his basket with his produce, he had his shovel and his hoe. Of course, it would have been more to the plastic side so that he can carry it freely. And this is what stood out to me. Out of the entire student body, one little boy was dressed as a farmer. And right then and there, I knew to myself, okay, the narrative has to change when it comes to agriculture. You know, we talk about agriculture, we talk about implementing certain policies within the agricultural sector, but sometimes the conversation may or may not be where it needs to be. And sometimes the implementation is a bit slow in getting there. But your secretary was saying the last time she was here about making agriculture sexy. And I found the word sexy kind of grabbed me because why would you say agriculture and then you merge it with the word sexy? And when we delved in, she indicated that it has to be attractive.
Yes.
It has to be something that grabs you and you say, listen, I want to do this. And so many things have come on stream with regards to agriculture. So it's not even about just being a farmer anymore. You have so many things that persons are doing now.
Yes, because when you look at what marketing is doing and how it is constructed, you will realize that there are many career fields that is in marketing. For example, we have a food technologist. The food technologist is responsible for working with the agro-processors so that they can have quality products going out to the public. We have on our books a chemical engineer. The chemical engineer is the person who sees about all the equipment in the abattoir and in the market. We also are looking at market research. The market research person has to go out there and gather data to share with the stakeholders, the farmers, the persons in tourism, the vendors, and many more persons. In order for us to actually produce, we need to get the relevant information. So you need the market research person. And just think about it, marketing, the name marketing. In order to get the word out there, we must have a marketing person on board.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So those are just a few of the career choices that can be made by young persons. And, you know, people tend to tell their children when they are going to school, I didn't send you to school to put your hand in the dirt, but that isn't so. In order for them to eat and grow, they need to be involved in agriculture. So agriculture, I would say, is the foremost division in the Tobago House of Assembly.
And I agree so much with you. I think that the face of agriculture is changing. I think that the narrative is changing. And there's so many careers that you can build into being an agriculturalist. So it's not just, like I said before, it's not just a blueprint of what an agricultural worker or marketing manager is. There's so many things that you can do. So it's not just going and planting, or it's not just going and rearing some livestock. It's so much more than that, and it's definitely changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's also the business aspect of agriculture. In order for you to be able to really be out there producing. You have to
Yeah.
be able to make money from agriculture, because then you want to be able to send your children to school. And most parents, well, in a few years ago, when I was younger, they would get maybe a kid or a sheep or some animal for the child to see about. They would also involve them in planting. But it's not just about a hobby. It's about turning what you are doing into a business.
And we're going to talk more about that when we return. Guys, we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back with more from my Margaret Corbin, marketing agriculture, changing the face of agriculture. And we are going to leave you with our trivia question for today. In what village in Tobago would you find Barbados Bay? The answer at the end of the show. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful Monday morning. I'm getting the chance to really speak to some positive persons, wonderful, positive, kind energies. And of course, my next guest is no different. Margaret Corbin joins us. Marketing manager of the Scarborough Market. And Margaret, you were telling me about something new or an update as to what's happening with the abattoir. So let's just delve into that one at this time.
All right. So the Scarborough Abattoir is the place where we encourage producers to bring their live animals for slaughter.
Right.
Why bring your animal to the abattoir? The reason is that we maintain a level of quality in the slaughter of the animals.
Yeah.
The abattoir is overseen by a veterinary public health inspector who does the anti-mortem and post-mortem on the animal that
Okay.
is being slaughtered.
Yeah.
So what he does is he checks to make sure that the animal is free from disease before it is even slaughtered. And then after it is slaughtered, he does another check to make sure that there isn't anything within the
any
animal that he had
antibodies.
missed.
Right.
Right? So the idea is that the animal should be fit for consumption. Cats that are sold in the market must be stamped with the veterinary public health inspector stamp.
Okay.
If they are not, then we don't accept them in the market at all.
I like that. I like the fact that you take the time to make sure that not just about the quality that you're getting, but because Dr. was here last week and we spoke briefly on backyard slaughtering.
Yeah.
And he made mention of the fact that sometimes you do the slaughtering as the farmer and treatment of the meat, you're not meeting that standard.
Yeah.
So you have an abscess, you cut that off, and you want to use the other parts of the meat. And these are some of the things that we touched on. So I love the fact that you're saying this today, because I know so many people are wondering, so many people want the information. Some people want, are farmers. They need to know where they can go, what is the procedure, and what to do, what not, as a matter of fact, because the meat is for consumption. Yeah? So I'm so glad that you touched on that. But let's just go back a bit to reminding us of what's going on this week, and then just enlightening us on, because I know some of you are just joining us to get ready. I know some of you are just logging in, but that's okay. I still love you. So we're going to reiterate on the children's party and, of course, what's going on this week.
All right, so the children's party is on.
Right.
Santa will be there. I don't think he has to come from the North Pole.
Yes, so he's definitely going to be there.
He is going to be there. The children will be treated. There are lots of giveaways on the day. For the adults, we would prefer them to come in the morning to get those giveaways, and in the afternoon bring the children so that they can share in the love and peace that we will be sharing with the children. We would not just be giving toys and treats, but the children would be allowed to play games. They would be able to socialize and feel, a part of what is happening.
Definitely.
And also, we expect that for this week, there will be lots of giveaways by the vendors themselves in the market. So when you come in, ask for your giveaways from the vendors. Tell them that Miss Corbin said so.
Yes.
Right?
And on live TV.
Yes. And they will give you what for to give. I know that the vendors are looking forward to seeing a lot of persons in the market this week. Also, we will be having extended hours. The hours would be going up to 8 o'clock. Normally, we would open at 6 Monday to Thursday and close at 6. On Fridays and Saturdays, we open 5 a.m. and close at 6. But this week, starting on Wednesday, we want to close the market at 8 p.m. so that you would have ample time to come and get your produce and other goods from the market.
Right. And your finale, don't forget the live entertainment.
Yes, we would be having live entertainment on Friday.
Right.
We'll be having live entertainment along with, well, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, don't let everything out of the bag.
You come down to the market and you will be sweetly surprised.
Yes. And is there anything that you want to say to the viewers who are looking on? If you had to inspire someone today, what would you tell them?
I would tell you, viewers, take one day at a time. We know it's a busy Christmas season where you are trying to get so much done, but you need to take a break. And the best place to take the break is in the market. We have a lot of loving vendors there, and when you come, they try to get your attention, but they also try to make sure that you are satisfied. So for this season, let's make sure and put our health first. Don't go off on things that you don't really need. When I say that things to eat, try to make the right choice of food, and the best choice you can do is to eat fresh food, straight from the market to your pot.
Yes, and I love how she did the, you said you heard the plug there. So market. Everything she just said, she ended with the market. So that is your cue that you have to come on down. You have to get down there and really be a part of what is happening, what's going on. But just briefly, Margaret, before we wrap, we were talking about agriculture as a business. And we just touched really briefly on that. But let's just delve in a little more on your thoughts as agriculture as a business. So
my parents, they had a strong agricultural background. What we ate most times would come from what was planted or what was reared. And not only that, my mother used to go to the market as a vendor. She would go there early in the morning and sell whatever she had. And from what she did, she was able to assist her husband in raising 12, I should say, 13, I should say, more children, because other children from extended family and from the neighborhood would come at our home in order to partake of what we had. And that was because of the business side of my parents' work as agriculturists. I am also involved in agriculture in my private life, in co with my husband. I might not be there every day with him doing all the little things, but he normally calls me the Minister of Finance.
Well, yeah.
Because money is there to be had from agriculture, right? And I would say that my children also are involved. And they did agriculture at school, and they also carried that over into their private life. So my two sons, they are actually working on a farm.
Okay, good.
As we speak, they are working. And that is where they get their living from, right? And my daughter, in her little extra time that she has, she plants, and that is to bring in an extra income for herself. So I don't want us to think that agriculture should just be a hobby, right? Because you can be trained in agriculture, and then you want to use it as a career. Obviously it has to make money for you. So what we do in marketing is that we work along with the business development unit, NETCO, and other entities where we promote the business side of agriculture. In 2024, the division will be working more on promoting agriculture as a business and as a science, right? So that the persons who are involved in agriculture, they would be able to make a good living wage. That is the aim of the division right now.
And I love the fact that you let us in on what's going on. We are so thankful to have you. Thank you so much for being a part of Brunch. And of course, we wish you blessings and success in whatever you endeavor to do. And success of your events, all these lovely, exciting things that are happening within the agricultural sector. So thank you so much, Margaret, for being here with me, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me and helping us to share as a division what we are doing with the public of Tobago.
Most welcome, most welcome. We are going to be right back with more Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. But guys, our trivia question, let me mention that I want somebody to get this. Please, please, please. In what village in Tobago would you find Barbados Bay? The answer at the end of the show. We'll be right back with more Brunch, a taste of Tobago.
Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Welcome to Standard, and today we're launching High. It's our newest brand that Standard is launching, and it's where luxury meets affordability. We're very proud of this brand. It's taken some time to get the right collection in place, and we're also going to continue to improve on our collection as time goes by and we listen to our customers more. We've changed our suppliers for this collection to European suppliers, so you're going to get that European finish. We've been very pleased by some of the results that we've been seeing in terms and response to it in the market, and we're so glad to bring it to Tobago and show Tobago what Standard could, grow with them as well.
It's not just about looking good or having materials that are easily cleaned or sustainable materials, because the important thing about this particular collection is that it is quality. It is meant to last, and it lives up to the Standard name about never beating on quality and price. This furniture particularly, especially our outdoor line, which ranges from fiberglass, plastic types of outdoor stools, outdoor chairs, even the outdoor furniture, it is built to last.
That's the importance with High, right? It's not only looking good, it's going to feature things that make your life easier, and it's not too damaging on the pocket. That's important for us.
This furniture fits the lifestyle of Tobago, of the Tobago customer, of the Tobago guest. It is the perfect type of furniture for you.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video call, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. And guys, I am so honored and so pleased that you stayed with us. Thank you so much again for inviting me into your homes. I want to say a blessed morning to my technical crew. Good morning to Aaron Primus. Good morning to Jared Bernard, and of course our producer, Mr. Anton Parks. Good morning to you. And you are viewing Brunch, a taste of Tobago. And this is one of those times where I feel like, I am in a presence of such royalty. I cannot even begin to describe how many things, how many projects my next guest has been involved in. Trinidadian Canadian actor, musician, playwright, director, and educator, and appeared in over 64 films such as Covert One, The Hades Factor, National Lampoon's Senior Trip, and of course Testes. And the upcoming, get this, Reacher. Now, you guys should know this film, Reacher. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a wonderful drama. And of course, I get to speak to one of our sons of the soil who is doing so much in that space. So I want to say good morning to Marvin Ishmael. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh my gosh, I feel so elated right now because I love the fact that we get to represent and represent well, represent ourselves. I would have spoken on your identity as such a blueprint when you are in a larger country, when you travel, when you're not in the comfort of your island or your home. And the amount of projects that you undertook, the pathways that you opened, and that never ending energy, that rhythm, that Trinbagonian rhythm that you have speaks so much to your accomplishments thus far. But I just want to welcome you once again to Brunch. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Janelle, and thank you for having me on your show. It's quite a privilege to be on. I love Tobago. I love the people, and of course, I love our culture and what we as Trinbagonians have brought to the entertainment field all across the world, wherever we find ourselves. We've also shared our culture, our language, our stories, and our ability to let the other mainstream cultures or peoples know of what we have contributed as a people and what we are still contributing on a daily, monthly, yearly basis to life.
And one of the things that stands out about you, Melvin, you have so many layers, and it's like a non-stop evolution that we see changing before us. So you 16 nominated. Let's talk about that. The two nominations that you have for your plays. Let's start there, and then we're going to get into just a bit about your education, because I know you teach, you mentor, you do so much. If I had to speak on all the things that you do, I would be here all day. So right now I'm trying to syn up as best as I can and just let the viewers in to as much about you as possible. So tell us about your play that got the two nominations. Just tell us about.
Okay, well, thank you. In 1987, I founded a theater company called We Are One Theater Productions. And our aim was to present the work of Caribbean writers, to present our stories, our heroes within the school system, within the main stage audiences, and also to present a platform for some of our senior artists within the calypso dance roots area. And to that end, I realized that there weren't many plays that were available to tour the schools into that told our stories. And therefore, I did some research and decided to write a number of plays that I thought would best look at our culture and our contributions. And so I wrote one about Cujo, the Jamaican folk hero. And that was the first one. It was called Forever Free, and it won a Chalmers Award for Best New Play for Theatre for Young Audiences and was nominated for a Dora Mae for More Award. I also looked at the contributions that we made in other islands. And so when we looked at, for example, The Three Musketeers, and you look at that film, you never see a person of color. And yet within that time in France, there were many people of color who were in the court. And in fact, one of the main generals was a person of color. And so I looked at a play called My Father, My Hero, which dealt with Dumas, Alexander Dumas, who was a person of color, and what he represented to the Caribbean and to us. And so for me, it was a need to tell stories and to show the wider student population that sometimes we look at history, and history is normally, of course, given from the point of view of those in power, those who thought they won, and sometimes they miss out large aspects of the true history, our true story. And so that's how those things came into being. I mean, I also wrote something called A Cat and a Dog, which I thought epitomizes us as a people in a perfect light, because it looked at the immigrant perspective but from the point of view of animals. And so our children were able to identify with cats and dogs and blue jays and chipmunks and look at how we look at those animals from their perspective, but also gain an insight into how we as immigrants have contributed to our society, and how racism or prejudices come about, because sometimes our parents tell us certain things that are wrong, but because we've heard it and we say it so many times that it becomes a part of our DNA, and so we don't look at, is that true? And A Cat and a Dog, of course, had music by Ian Jones, who is from Trinidad and Tobago. He's a pan pioneer here in Ontario, and he did a number of songs that sort of escapulated us as a people in terms of the movement of music. So again, when I write plays, I try to tell our stories. I also try to share various aspects of our culture, be it calypso, be it gospel calypso, be it jazz, be it reggae, to show that we have shared so many things to this wider community. And that's how those plays came into being, out of a necessity to find heroes and to find stories that our children could identify with. I remember one of the first times that Forever Free was shown in the schools. And we were playing to grade 13s, which were, like the upper form sixes, I guess, in Trinidad. And we had some huge Black people of color in the back part of the auditorium. And they ran down to the front because it was the first time they had seen my lead was 6'5". He was about 200 pounds of ripping muscle. He had played basketball, but he was also a performer. And they had never seen a person of color with that image dancing an original African dance. And for the first time, they felt proud of who they were, where they came from, what we have contributed to society. And they felt proud to come down to the front and let the rest of the student body know that, hey, that's my story. And so that's how those plays came into being. It was out of a necessity to share to a wider audience our heroes and our stories.
And I love the fact that you were willing to take that step and really change the face of what an actor is, what an artist is, who is that person that gives various forms of expression and creativity. I had a friend once tell me, without creatives, our world is very, very bleak. It's very gray. There's no color. There's no life. There's no spice. And so being a creative all its own is something that speaks to so many persons. But for a very long time, we were not represented as people of color. And so this narrative had to change. Somebody had to do it. And it just so happened that one of those persons was you. And trailblazers and pioneers, those are the words that come to mind when I describe you, even if you may or may not see yourself as those names that I just gave you. But that is what I think of. I think of a pioneer. I think of a trailblazer, someone who wants to move away from the norm, destroy that box immediately without reason or without question or pause. And these are the types of stories that we want to highlight. So I'm so glad that you're here with me today so that we can really delve in. Now, we were talking earlier, one of my previous guests, we were talking about your identity. And it becomes so important to know who you are. It becomes so important to take pride in who you are and know your story, know your history. Remember to merge the wisdom of the elders, but also couple it with innovation and the energy of the young. Which brings me to my next point, Reacher. How did this come about? Because this is one of those dramas based on a novel by Mr. Lee Childs. And I love the fact that I get to see you put your rhythm into it, because you know we have a rhythm, right? We have a rhythm as Trinbagonian people, as Caribbean people, as people of color. We share that rhythm.
Well,
Right, so we have a
thank you.
clip of Reacher.
Okay.
So we're just going to show a little bit of that. We're so excited. So everyone is like waiting with bated breath to see what's going to happen. But how did this come about, you being involved in the series?
Well, they had auditions for this particular part, and I think they wanted to make small town America a little accessible, or a little more accessible. So they were looking for a person of color to play the priest. And I decided when I auditioned that I would just do it with my own rhythms and accents and see what happens. And
Yes.
it worked.
And we have Reacher on the screen right now. And you know, one of the things that really stands out, you definitely have a posture. And it's really hard to believe that you're not a priest in real life, because your posture speaks so much to the character that you're playing. And that, again, is our Trinbagonian rhythm that we have. And I see you playing, this character with Alan Richson. And Alan Richson is a genius all his own in film and television. And being able to be a part of such an event, such a this course of history, it's such a wonderful, beautiful thing. Just tell us a bit about the story of Reacher. Now, if you guys don't know, this is something that you definitely want to watch. Just tell us a bit about the storyline there. Now, you play a priest in a small
Yes.
community.
In a small community that is plagued with drugs and all the problems that drug dealers bring to any society. And so Alan is Jack Reacher comes in. Now, first of all, I have to say that Alan is such a wonderful person. We had although it was just 2 scenes that I had with him, we had a lot of time to sort of sit and talk just about acting, his sort of career, what he was up to before he got Jack Reacher. He was on the Immortals, and then his character got cancelled, and his state of sort of despair when that happened. But then doors always open, and so he got Jack Reacher, and he's a huge guy. He's 6'5", just 250 pounds of just muscle.
Yes.
But he's a very open, generous individual. And I told him, I said, when I look at your character, what I think of is Michael, the archangel, because we were just talking about reasons or rationales why these characters are present within our society. And so he looked at me sort of quizzically to say, the archangel? I say, yes, you are almost within our storyline, God's hand on earth, sort of dealing with the unrighteous in a way that many of us would like to think we can deal with, but we don't. And he kind of looked at me and go, yeah, that's really interesting. Hand of God. Oh, I see. But he brings about justice within our society, as most heroes do. and which leads me to another point in terms of our viewership, in that we all have the potential to be heroes. And what I mean by that is that standing up for what is right, not being afraid of who we are as a people, not being afraid of sharing our stories, of not being afraid of seeing the potential in others, and therefore being more generous of spirit, generous as a people to one another, and realizing that some of the ills of society is because we haven't been as generous, we haven't been as open in terms of realizing and meeting the needs of those around us, because we are so content with where we are or who we are individually or within certain sort of segments of our society. And that sort of kind of opened up my eyes in terms of saying, how can you, as an artist, as an individual, help to inspire others in realizing their dreams, in realizing their potential, and therefore it gives you a little more clarity and force of perspective in terms of what you want to do, what you need to do, and what you can do to help others.
I love the fact you just ended by saying what you can do to help others. And it's so important to be able to give, be able to contribute, be able to be a source of knowledge and understanding, being able to tell our story, being able to merge, as I said, wisdom and innovation. And I get so much of that from you because, I mean, you're theater guy to the max. And it speaks so well to the journey because you're able to embody these characters. You're able to be, you know, someone that we're seeing on screen and we are feeling that this is you, and not remembering that you're just playing a role, or remembering that, okay, this is a character that this man is playing. And that speaks to our essence, that speaks to our rhythm, because you would have done theater for so long. What are some of the groups that you worked with? Because I know you worked with so many groups. I know you taught at so many institutions. Let's just delve in, you know, just really quickly as to some of those places that you would have worked.
Okay. Well, Janelle, in fact, one of the highlights, or a couple of highlights, I had the privilege of being on Broadway in 2004 with A.R. Rahman's Bombay Dreams. It was an Andrew Lloyd Webber production. And as you know, the dream of most stage actors is to be on Broadway at least once, and to be in a show that represented us as collectively as people of color. And so that for me was an amazing process, because it made me realize that the process I had as a performer worked, because we performed the play every night, 8 shows a week for over a year. And so you had to hit all the marks. You had to be emotionally involved, physically involved, the same, because the people who came to see your show expected that of you. So that was one of the highlights. The other highlight was teaching at UTT's Academy for the Performing Arts. So from 2014 to 2021, I was an assistant professor there teaching. And one of the highlights, I think, of my career is introducing to the Academy, to our student body, the thrust stage and non-traditional settings. You know, in the history of theater in Trinidad, we've had many voices who've said that the proscenium stage doesn't actually speak to us as a people, because most of our art forms, in terms of the festivals that we celebrate, happen outside. And therefore, we should be thinking more of arena stage, non-traditional settings for some of our plays. And I was able to bring that into focus while I was there at the Academy, in terms of getting some of our young directors to work presenting plays at the Botanical Gardens, at a art gallery, somebody's house, where you only you might only need 30 or 40 people to come and see a show because you wanted to work things out as a director in terms of what's my creative impulse. What is it I want to say to today's society when I do a play? So it's not just another production of, it's what can I say to Trinidad and Tobago if I have to do the Rose Slip again, or Moon on a Rainbow Shawl, or any one of our classics? What is it I want to say today that is still relevant when the writer was writing when he first produced that? So teaching at the academy for me was a highlight because I am impressed with the talent that we have in Trinidad. I'm impressed, and Tobago, I use that word, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm impressed with the talent, and I understand that process is so important for them to understand who they are, what that journey is in terms of reading a play, taking the first lines from that play, and then finding a process to bring that character to life. And I've worked at Can Stage in Toronto. I've worked at the Ottawa, the National Arts Centre. I mean, I've been fortunate over the years to do a lot of Shakespeare. I did a map of the world, which had a character that is based on one of our writers from the Caribbean, Nightfall. And it was a joy to be able to play him because he was written by David Hare. So it was a great writer who wrote an amazing play. It was one of the first times in Toronto that the lead of a play was a person of color like that. And it was a huge hit. We got the opportunity to mount it a number of times here. And so those things sort of stand out for me. But I have to say one thing before I go any further, is that any success that I've had has come from the doors that were opened by people before me. And so I pay tribute to people like Vera Kajo, who started Black Theatre Canada, and others from Black Theatre Workshop, Theatre Fountainhead. So we are always working on the footprints that somebody else sort of went before us. And so I pay tribute to them. I pay tribute to the efforts that they made to ensure that our stories were being told, are being told. And what I did was to further that advancement in terms, Jeff Henry is someone whose name sort of springs to mind when I think of pioneers. And it's so fortunate that a lot of these pioneers of theater come from Trinidad and Tobago. And that brings a sort of a joy to me, and it should bring a joy to our audiences. In that
And
everywhere we go.
We just want to say that I'm going to just put it on in there because I love the fact that you just mentioned that so many of our pioneers come from this wonderful twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and the efforts are so immense, the talents are so immense, and it's good to have that forum or that platform where we represent ourselves, and we represent well, and we represent seeing persons that look like you and I, because it's so important to have this, especially in our societies today, in our worlds today. And I just want to thank you so much for being a part of Brunch. You guys look out for Reacher Season 2, Amazon Prime. Look out for Trini Ishmael, as they call him, but Marvin Ishmael, accomplished actor, playwright, musician, you name it, he has done it. Look out for Reacher Season 2. And, we just want to say that we are so proud of you. Blessings to you, success to you in whatever you endeavor to do, from our family to yours. So we say thank you, and thank you for representing and representing well. So thank you so much for being a part of Brunch.
Thank you so much, Janelle. And look out for No Boundaries, the movie, which starts shooting in January.
Definitely. Will do. Will do. So, guys, we're going to wrap right here. We're going to take just a brief look at a scene from Reacher. And before we do that, our trivia question for today, let me just mention it one more time. In what village in Tobago would you find Barbados Bay? Of course, the answer at the end of the show. We're going to take a break. We're going to leave you with a clip from the series Reacher. You guys are going to be right back.
Excuse me. Was wondering if I could ask for some help.
Well, that is what we give here.
I'm looking for my cousin. He has a really bad drug problem, and a family friend said they saw him living on the street around here.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you. I promised my aunt I wouldn't come back home without her son. I don't know where to even begin looking. And I thought maybe the church has a support group or something, and through that, maybe you'd have some idea where Jimmy was scoring.
The devil did his best work when he created that poison, didn't he?
Sure did.
Almost everyone who comes into our outreach program gets their fix from the same place. Dumont, just east of Rockaway. But you gotta have a death wish to walk in there alone, son.
I'll be fine, Father. I have righteousness on my side. For the outreach program.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights in the as practiced by the T diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired, hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
The things that we need to touch on is safety around the Christmas season. We love the decoration, we love the multitude of lights and all of this pomp and splendor. And many times we have to look after ourselves, our families, and it's really important that we keep this in mind. And my next guest speaks so candidly to this. Jude Rogers, our very good friend, joins us from the TTFS, Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services, and we're going to touch on safety hazards at Christmas. So good morning to you, Jude.
Good morning, and how are you listeners on the air today?
We are so well. We are so blessed and highly favored, and we are so happy that we're getting the chance to talk to you because you're like a staple of the brunch set. You're like a staple of Tobago Updates television. And so everything and anything to do with safety and fire and just a whole bunch of information that you always willingly give. We are so blessed and so thankful to have you. So welcome to Brunch. And let's talk
Yes, thank you.
about safety hazards at Christmas. Let's just delve
Okay,
in.
so
Let's just start there.
definitely. So we recognize in the fire service by looking at our statistics that there is a multitude of hazards that arise coming out of the Christmas period, the Diwali period, and any period where there is a proliferation of lighting, a proliferation of open flames. So we want to raise those issues and to educate the public so that we could bring about awareness. So one of the main things that we want to do is talk about electrical safety around this period, talk about the whole aspect of renovations and how you treat with renovations around this Christmas period, and what are some of the do's and don'ts. So let me delve directly into it. First and foremost, we're asking persons to take a look at your electrical circuits around this period. Bring in your certified electrician. And when I say that, I mean someone who is a licensed wireman or someone who carries that license that allows them to have the ability to wire your home. It's not a do-it-yourself type of situation where you bring someone in who does not have that certification. It's important to have persons checking that for you, and it should be done every 5 years because your certificate is valid for 5 years. That is from the electrical inspectorate. But in terms of the electrical wiring in your home, there are many, many telltale signs that we see, and I want to raise some of those signs. For instance, if you have a hot spot along your walls, along the plug, that is a telltale sign that there is a short or short circuit taking place along that point. Simply put, you do not want to overload your circuits. Multi-tapping of electrical plugs is not something that we recommend, and it causes a major, major hazard around this time. Also, the use of electrical wiring and electrical cords are for temporary use and should not be used outdoors unless that plug is designed for outdoor use, as well as our beautiful lights that we put up for Christmas. I would say that they are outdoor lights and they are indoor lights. And you should look for the tags: green tag, indoor, red tags, outdoor, and be careful. Or just use the outdoor lighting for indoor and outdoor so that you don't run into that difficulty. And I always tell my good friends in TV land that the most amount of plugs that you should be plugging in for electrical lights is no more than 3. So those are some very interesting points that we can tell. And of course, the baking and the cooking around this period, one of the main issues, again, around that, make sure that your hose lines have the proper clips and that you have the safety and that your tank is not leaking. Always look out for that.
I love the fact that you put so much information into that short space of time, because there is so much that happens around the Christmas season. We do so much. I had a guest on and she was speaking on the emotional side of things, the emotional aspect of things. And so we go all out with the lights and the shopping and all of these things that we don't do usually earlier on in the year. And are we at risk even more so at Christmas time with overloading our circuits, overloading our meters, and what is that in as you say, in TV land, because we want people to be aware of what we mean, but there's so much that goes on. Are we at risk of overloading our circuits and systems around Christmas time?
Again, a very excellent question. And as it pertains to that, just think about it this way. Let's look at the business community as well as within your households. The business community has the challenge of now having way more stock. So now you're advertising a lot more electrical items for sale. You may be advertising combustible materials, you know, the lovely curtains and all of these things that we have. And even more products are being put on the shelves. Similarly, in your home, as you begin renovation, you increase the use of electricity in your home. And so those hazards are intermingled with your normal day-to-day activities. And so all we're asking in the fire service is to be mindful and to have some sort of plan as to how you will conduct your activities for the Christmas period. One of the main areas of response that the fire service thinks that everyone should be responsible for is the detection of a fire in the early stage. And you can only do so if you have smoke detectors erected in your homes and in your businesses, and if you have fire extinguishers installed in the right proportion, in the right locations within your home and your businesses. So these are some of the encouraging points that the fire service is reaching out to members of the public. Yes, we know challenges are going to occur. We know that hazards may occur, but you can mitigate against them by having the protective measures in place. So smoke detectors, whether battery operated or wired, installed in every bedroom along each corridor, and at least 110-pound dry chemical fire extinguishers installed in your home, even in your vehicle, if I may add, and also installed in your businesses, of course.
We have to be even more careful, those of us who are using the gas cookers or the gas stoves. Do we need to be even more on that level where we are protecting ourselves? Just go really briefly into some of the dangers that we need to stay clear of, especially during the Christmas season.
Well, I'm going to give you a good example because we have so many stories in the fire service when we investigate fires where persons use the hose and the tank. Now, one of the key things you need to look when you're purchasing let's say a 30-pound or 20-pound LPG tank, I am recommended that you not only check the top of the tank at the regulator, but you also turn the tank upside down and take a look at the bottom of the tank for rusting. We have been finding quite a few of those tanks have been refurbished, but the tanks are having leakages on the metal from the bottom, rusting taking place and leaking. And once you detect gas or the release of LPG in your home, the point that you need to do is to ventilate. Do not put on any lights, do not take off any lights, do not plug on or plug off any electrical item. Open all windows, all doors, and ventilate. Your hose clips and your hose, I believe, based on usage, after a 5-year period, you need to change the hose to your tank and your stove. Reason being, there's a lot of dry rotting that takes place, and that particular hose begins to crack, and it's a point of weakness. When you move the tank or you change the tank, it's a point where leakage can take place, and fires have been occurring from that standpoint. And before we get any further, I want to just touch on a little bit of the statistics because, I talked Trinidad, but let me talk about Tobago. And to the end of October for 2023, we've seen the advent of 41 structural fires in Tobago. And that's quite a lot when you look at, if you divide that by 12, you look at the amount of fires that you're encountering in Tobago involving structures, businesses, and residential. The residential properties involved in fires in Tobago to the end of October was 22 residents in Tobago. And that stems from kitchen, electrical wiring, negligence, and even arson as a cause of fire.
Definitely. And also, we need to be so much more careful with our youngsters around these electronics, around the gas cooker, the stove, the iron. Please, please, please. What are some of the reports that you get, concerning minors, especially around this time where everybody's doing something, everybody's cleaning, everybody's trying to get the house in order, and yet the minors are just doing the most, as we see? What are some of the reports that you get? Okay, so we're having just a bit of technical difficulty there, but that's okay. You know, sometimes things go wrong. Anything that can sometimes does. And we were speaking with Jude Rogers. We were speaking to the fact of hazards around Christmas time, be it electrical or fire hazards, keeping your home safe, keeping your young ones safe, keeping your loved ones safe, and really taking the time to make sure that you are complying with what your home should have, not going above and beyond. And so we take you now to our trivia question for today. So let's have a look at our trivia question. In what village in Tobago would you find Barbados Bay? Can we have the answer, please? So the village of Mount St. George, that's our answer for the trivia question. And of course, we have a winner, Lisa Frank Phillips. Thank you so much for logging on and being a part of Brunch today. So Lisa is the winner of the trivia question. And we are very pleased, we're very happy that you stayed with us. We want to thank you so much for inviting us into your homes. Thank you for inviting us into your space. And of course, we are hoping that we made your day just a bit lighter, just a bit happier. If you awoke with something on your mind, a little heaviness, we're hoping that we were able to elevate you, we were able to lift you. And so that's what we aim to do here on Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Remember, you're viewing live on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, J.W. Moore, also known as J Soul, and I want to thank you so much for being a part of what we do here. So I'm going to take the time to just say thank you to the guests that were here before. Thank you to the persons who made this show possible. Again, my wonderful crew, wonderful technical crew, thank you so much for making this possible. And we were speaking with Jude on the hazards for Christmas. We lost him there for just a bit. I'm hoping that he's back with me just to give a conclusion. Jude, are you there? All right, so we have a video that we can show you. So you guys pay attention and remember, be safe, be wise, and remember, January comes like clockwork. So let's keep that budget in mind. Let's keep ourselves together. And I wish you nothing but blessings for today. See you again on Brunch, A Taste of Tobago. Bye-bye.
This Christmas season, here are some fire safety tips that can save your life. Check extension cords for visible breaks in the insulation, which can expose the internal wiring. Refrain from overloading individual electrical circuits by using extension cords and adding multiple outlets. Do not run extension cords under carpets or across doorways. Use UL listed extension cords and decorative lights and follow all instructions provided. Do not use interior lights outdoors. Green tags for indoor use only and red tags for outdoor use. Refrain from cutting off fuse protective plugs or decorative lights, which is a safeguard. Do not connect more than 3 decorative lights per electrical circuit. Use insulated hooks to hang decorative lights. Unplug all decorative lights before bedtime or leaving your premises. Remember, fire safety begins with you.